Sheboygan's Country B93. Monday is our A's update. Bill Weinaug, the birthday boy from last week, joining us. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm feeling much like ancient or something like that, you know?
I didn't bring up, sometimes I'll bring up ages when we do the birthday club on the air. I didn't bring yours up.
Oh, well, that's all right. It's old.
I could have just said that. All right, so what's going on this week, Bill? We've got, I know, first of all, let's just get an update on where we're at in terms of the new amenities we're trying to add to the park. Any new updates there or no?
Peter Geis, that is kind of taking the lead on that project, he's been out presenting it to different organizations around town, and the reception has been real well. So now it's a matter of, I don't know what the exact timeline is to go out and start fundraising for it.
Okay.
And depending on what we raise for funds, depends on how much of that renovation we're going to do.
You know, I'm starting to see, too, my dad actually emailed me a link to, now Texas, I'm sure you're a sports guy, so Texas high school football is like the utmost. That's like the NFL down there. They have a Texas high school that is building a brand new stadium to the tune of $76 million for a high school stadium. So I said, when I replied to his email, I said, the A's shouldn't have any problem getting $2 million. That's like a drop in the hat when you compare it to that.
I would say, I mean, if somebody wants to drop us $76 million, heck, $7 million, $7.6 million will be good to go.
Man, yeah, that was a wild story. So that, when you start to see things like that, it puts it into perspective.
Yeah, and I don't, you know, looking at the plan, we're not doing anything outrageous.
No,
I mean, one of the big costs of this renovation is updating the lights that have been around since, I think Denny said, like 1982 or something like that.
Wow.
And that's really what's holding us back from getting some of the bigger college tournaments in and different things here.
Well, I think, too, you're right when you bring up that field turf. As you know, I cover MSOE baseball, a lot of NAC baseball down in Milwaukee, and they just had their tournament over the weekend at CUW, which is the Chinook Stadium, Lakeshore Chinooks, if anyone's gone to those games. That's where they play at CUW's park. And they just renovated that in order to facilitate bringing the Chinooks in. And they have that field turf. And I'll tell you what, Bill, anytime you go through the schedule that day of games being played, especially when rain is a factor, they almost always get their games in because the maintenance is so much lower and the field drains so much better.
Yeah, that and the other thing that the Chinooks have that I really wish we had is people like Bob Euchre and Robin Yount supporting that program as being part owners.
You've got me. You've got me, Bill.
Well, yeah, you know, you and your bookie haven't been really coming through for us lately.
That's like Euchre and Yount, basically, right?
Yeah, kind of the bookie part of it. Exactly.
Yeah, right, true. Maybe you don't even know. Robin Yount might be my bookie. You don't know.
Well, that'd be all right. Well, look us up.
Yeah, no, that's a model that I look at. I don't know, maybe it's not going to be that extravagant, but the things that they added there when they built that to lure the Chinooks or build that franchise are some of the things that we've been talking about.
Exactly. And we're, you know, like I said, we're not looking at anything real extravagant. It's just going to be something that's going to be great for the community to get more people out to the ballpark. And, you know, tickets starting at $3 and up. I mean, like Denny always puts it, we talk about going to a Brewer game and what the cost of a Brewer game is compared to us.
Sure.
And granted, that's professional baseball. But here you buy a $3 ticket.
Kind of this year.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you buy a $3 ticket and your kids start screaming or whatever else, something comes up, you don't feel bad about leaving the ballpark early like you do when you spend $50 to $100 at Miller Park.
Absolutely. Okay, so this week is opening week, Saturday, right?
Yep, Saturday night is Project Grill night with a 7:30 game versus Appleton.
Okay.
And then we're off until next week, Friday. We're actually starting a little bit earlier because of the Project Grill event and school letting out graduations and all different things.
Remind people what Project Grill is.
Project Grill is a combination between a bunch of local businesses and local high schools that they design and custom build grills that actually have to be working.
Right.
It's not just like you go out and design this thing and say, hey, it's a grill. As part of the contest, they have to fire up the grills.
Oh, they have to be functional, yeah.
That's what's going to happen. I think 7 o'clock that's scheduled for to light the grills to make sure everyone is an actual grill and go from there.
Did they not have, was that a few years ago or maybe last year, they had that Miller Park grill with the retractable roof? It was such an innovative idea.
Yeah, that was a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And one that stands out is the Kohler one still sits in my mind. It was made into a B-52 bomber.
Oh, that's awesome.
And if I remember right, it's sitting out next to their football field in Kohler.
Oh,
so
is
if you
it?
drive through, it's sitting there.
Some of the stuff they come up with, it's so imaginative. It's awesome. So that's this Saturday. And like you said, they're going to try and get that started at 7, and the game is at 7:30. The Appleton Legends are in town. And we also have the A's Extra page on our website is up and running. And if I remember to save this interview, Bill, this will be up there as well. We'll see if I go 0 for my first 3. I'm 0 for my first 2. We're just trying to get off the schneid here. But this will be up there, and we have the link to the video and all that stuff. And then your website, too, SheboyganBaseball.org, and your Facebook page are always great resources for you guys.
Exactly, and it's like you and I talked about the other week about getting back on the bicycle. It was a little rusty. So
yeah.
Some people need to knock that rust off you.
Yes, some people. You don't have to be cryptic about it. That person you're talking about is me. All right, well, Be sure to check out the website, SheboyganBaseball.org. Bill, we appreciate your time every week, man. We'll talk to you next week, all right?
Sounds good. Thanks, John.